7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
This is Eat and Drink with Ali Hassan and Marco Timpano. The podcast where back of house Ali and front of house Marco talk food and drink. Heads up. These two spent decades in restaurants, so some mature content and language is bound to come up. Get ready for Eat and Drink. Forks up.
Okay.
All right.
I'm hungover.
I'm more hungover. We're both hungover. What are we doing?
Oh, man.
Anyway, that's Marco Timpano.
And that's Ali Hassan.
Hangover man number 1.
Oh, man.
Hangover man number 2. And what are we doing with our hangovers? We're gonna have a drink.
And we're doing some serious cocktailing today too, because it's like,
I see that.
it's like of all the drinks when you're hungover, it's like I've decided to do a really strong one. So that's great. But first, a couple of things. How was Chicago?
We have not talked since I went to Chicago.
No.
I had a great time in Chicago. I went, I think I was telling you before I went, I was a little reluctant about this trip because I was going with my children. And you know how children just completely suck.
The worst
people around. And so I was like, I won't get to eat the way I want.
Sure.
I won't get to drink the way I want. I might not even meet one mixologist on this trip,
no.
I said to myself. But then in the end, it was great. And
good.
we got to eat a little bit, you know. There was a food court called Latinicity.
Oh.
So,
because you lost me at food court,
I know,
and then
I know.
Latinicity.
Now
then I'm
back.
like, okay, now we're back.
Look, I almost lost myself. I was like, what is this scam? And
Right.
it's right off Michigan Avenue, and it's a tourist trap. And for brunch, it's like an all-you-can-eat. I don't like all-you-can-eat, but then
it's even more like
it's an all-you-can-eat from 8 different places in a food court. So some are making arepas. One place is making such a good burger. My daughter had a burger, such a good burger, which is not what you'd expect in the food court, you know. And then tacos. Some people just, and in fact, we'll get to my thing, but that is what inspired me to make the dish that I'm making today.
Oh, this is exciting. Okay,
Yeah.
so you had texted me and said, I'm doing Mexican things in case you want to make your cocktail in that sort of theme. And I was like, no, like it's too late. The train got off the tracks. It has nothing to do with that.
That's all right. We don't have to be on brand with each other all the time. There's no brand. There is no brand.
There is no
What
brand. And when you're hungover, sometimes a strong cocktail can be the hair of the dog.
Yeah.
Now, before we go any further, I want to tell our listeners who are like, you know, I'm starting to enjoy what they're talking about with regards to cocktails, or my segment, as I'd like to drunkenly sort of hungoverly try to stumble my way through saying that.
Just as people were enjoying themselves, you just fell off the trail right there.
Here's what I want to say.
Yes.
Go buy yourself a cocktail shaker because now they'll be on sale.
Right.
You go to those stores like a Marshall's, a Winners, or wherever they sell those kind of...
And if I can just add one thing to
Yeah.
that. Also, while
That was
you're
the ping
there
of your phone.
while you're there buying things... 1,000 apologies. So unprofessional. While you're there buying things and listening to Marco's suggestion, get a hand blender as well.
Oh.
Also on sale. Hand blender and a spice grinder, if I may. You could find both for under $30 total.
Yeah. Okay, so a hand blender, for people who are like, what's a hand blender? It's not a blender like the ones that you like put stuff in like a vessel and then you hit liquefy or grind or whatever.
No, it's a hand. It's called an immersion blender.
Yes.
You take it and you put it into a soup or into a smoothie, a salsa, 1,000 different
It
things.
almost looks like, bear with me, the propeller at the end of a boat on a club, on the end of a club.
Are our listeners like 5 years old? Is that why you need to speak this way to them? What are you doing?
I don't know. Sometimes, because if somebody hears the hand blender, because I made a recipe yesterday, and it was all in British measurements and like terms. So I had to look up stuff. I made a rough puff, and I made like a meat pie. I'd never done that before, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out.
Rough puff sounds like a derogatory term. Is that how
It sounds like a sexual fetish, a rough puff. No, it's just basically puff pastry, but not as fine. So you're making just a rough pastry with some butter, but you're not folding it many times, and it's a little bit more durable and harder and whatnot. It was the top of my pie. Anyways, I'll throw some pictures online because I was really proud of it.
Yeah.
Basically, I took my turkey and my ham from Christmas, put it in a pie shell with leeks and cream and sherry and tarragon.
Very exciting.
Put the rough puff on top of it, put it in the oven, baked it. had the wrong degrees because it was British and I wasn't really paying attention, so I had to. I worked it all out.
You just can't take the bartender out of the bar.
I'm telling
You're
you.
just like, I'll figure it out. Although you do measure. You measure.
I do measure.
drinks,
I do
yeah.
measure with my measuring.
It might just be your resentment towards the British.
I love the British though.
Well, then I don't know what the hell's wrong with you,
'cause-
buddy. I'm trying to fix you. I'm
No.
trying to figure you out.
All right, let's get to our drink. Okay, our drink is going to involve Amaro. So I just want to say, how are you on Amaros?
I'm not familiar with Motto. That's how I am on
So an
Amaro.
Amaro is an Italian herbal bitter liquor. It's often digestive. Amaro means bitter.
I've seen it in digestifs in the menu,
Exactly.
but I've never had it.
And it's sometimes used in cocktails. And so I'm going to also say to our guests who are like making cocktails that we mentioned, go get yourself a small bottle of Fernet Branca because the next two shows are going to have Fernet Branca. You don't have to get the big bottles of 500 ml. If your liquor stores have even less, it's dashes and small quantities of it, so you don't need very much at all. So get yourself some Fernet because this week and next week's cocktail will have Fernet Branca. Now, Fernet Branca of all the Amaros is one of the stronger ones. So Amaros are classified in different styles, medium, light. Fernet has its own category. It's sharply bitter. It's more bitter than other Amari. And Fernet Branca, Fernet Stock, Luxadero Fernet, Amaro Santa Maria, Almonte are a few examples.
Those are the
Fernet.
ships that Columbus sailed on, I believe.
That colonized a lot of the world. I'm going to talk more about Fernet in the next episode because I want to talk more about the person who made this cocktail happen. Okay. But did you have a question? I noticed you.
No, I was just glancing at the back, and it says it can just be enjoyed over ice as well, but also a great ingredient in cocktails.
Yeah, for me, an Amaro is a great thing to have in your home at the end of your night when you're like, it's wrapping up or you're like getting towards, you've drank all the cocktails and wines and whatnot, and you want just something to settle down with. Yeah. This is a beautiful alternative to a cognac or a brandy that some people would traditionally have at the end. It's a digestive, so if you've had a big meal as well, it's a great way to digest.
And just to be clear, Amaro is the umbrella term. Fernet Branca, is it Fernet? Yeah, Fernet Branca is a type of Amaro.
You got it. Exactly. Perfect.
It's like I was sitting right here listening to you almost.
It makes me so happy, my friend. It makes me so happy. Fernet Branca is also one of those ones that's got a bit of a punch to it. So it might not be your introductory Amaro. Okay. I would recommend Montenegro.
Okay.
Love Montenegro. That one's from Bologna, that part of Italy. And I also want to say, not to be exclusively Italian, Amaros are also made in other parts of the world. Amaro is just the term for these bitter digestives that are made in Italy. So you'll find them in other parts of the world. They make theirs. I believe Jägermeister, which is a German herbal digestive, could be classified as an Amaro if it was made in Italy.
Thank you for not being so Italian-centric. Huh? Sometimes I can feel our listeners being enough.
It's like, this guy with at least Ali branches out to Mexican and whatnot. This guy is like,
I do nothing but branch out sometimes.
Well, no, I do nothing but stay in my little circle.
Okay, all right.
All right, so this cocktail comes from the Savoy Hotel in London in 1920, circa 1920 is when Ada Coleman, female bartender, which there wasn't very many.
It would be pronounced Ada, but anyway.
Oh, yeah, it would be Ada.
I think so.
Ada's how I would pronounce it in Italian.
Again with the Italian. Jeez.
Her nickname was Coley, so I'll refer to her as Coley from now on, okay? Coley invented this cocktail called the Hanky Panky. And she served cocktails to the likes of Marlene Dietrich, the Prince of Wales, I should say, Mark Twain.
I think it would be Wales.
What did I say, whale?
Whale. In the singular.
I need some more water.
You need something, my friend.
Charlie Chapman, Diamond Jim. Oh. Who's Diamond Jim?
Sounds like an early wrestler.
I have no idea. I didn't look him up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Diamond Jim entering the ring. I assume he was a man in the diamond trade.
I thought he was he sounds like a gunslinger to me.
Yeah.
But this is the UK. This is London. So if you know who Diamond Jim is, let us know because I'm not planning to look him up. So this was,
I lost interest in the list that I am presenting to you. You could read these lists beforehand and you could cross out Diamond Jim if you don't like him.
No, but I thought it was interesting. I thought it was an interesting name. I thought
I'm actually going to look
she made this drink for Charles Hawtrey. Is that how you say his name? Hawtrey?
Man, I don't know.
Hawtrey. He was an actor. He worked with Noah Cowell and whatnot. And from all my reading, it sounds like he was a bit of a drunk. She said he could tell a cocktail, judge a cocktail like no one else.
And he could do the hanky panky like no one else.
He certainly could.
Is that why
When he had this drink, he said, and I quote, "By Jove, this is the real hanky panky." At the time, hanky panky, do you know what it meant?
No, did it not mean messing around in a sexual way?
It meant magic or witchcraft, which is often what happens in my bedroom. So there you go. So we're going to make this cocktail. I'm really excited. I haven't had this cocktail.
I was excited until you read all that.
Okay,
now I'm like,
enough.
what a pretentious bunch of garbage. But we're going to take off the pretension.
Coley died at 91 in 1960. I thought that was great. I was like, she's like 91, drinking, bartending. That just proves drinking a bit of alcohol does the body good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's this very tiny random sample we've used here. But and for all we know, she quit drinking in her 30s. But that's not important. Drinking does the body good is something we should stand by.
Okay. Not to cut you off, but I just did. I didn't mean to. What I meant to say was I've lost the recipe. It was here in front of me, and I can't find it.
This in a nutshell is life with Marco. This is a 2 by 2. 2 foot by 2 foot room, and he somehow lost the paper. It's unbelievable.
I found it. You seem more sober than me right now, so I'm just going to say that.
Wait till I have food in front of me, and I'm breaking things. So far, so good.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Hanky Panky. Cocktail shaker with ice, my friends. Yes. Okay, we're going to use 1.5 ounces of vermouth. It calls for Italian vermouth. I'm actually using Canadian vermouth to show that I'm not exclusionary. Thank you. 1.5 ounces. Where is it? Okay, I'm just going to do it this way. Okay.
The way you just read that was definitely the reading of a hungover man.
I had to really squint.
Yeah, squint, and you did something with your mouth too. You know that thing when you got to beware of that. You know, the next thing you know, you'll be like, you'll be making those old man noises as you read things.
I'm there already.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, I'm using Hendrick's gin for this cocktail. I don't like to use Hendrick's gin in cocktails because I find that Hendrick's gin is a great gin, aromatic. It's its own gin. I feel like it should be drank as is and not used in cocktails, but it's a fine gin to use, and it was the only one I had.
It's also British. Okay, sorry. It was the only one I had is the bottom line. I thought you were trying to stick to this British theme, and Hendrick's is British, and it's a great gin.
And now 2 dashes of Fernet Branca.
Okay, now when you say dashes, what are we talking here?
Okay, a dash is...
Would you wind up being like a half a teaspoon in there?
That's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah?
I'm actually going to use my cocktail stir, and I'm going to do... Oh, that was the 2.5 dashes. It's just going to be what it is.
It is going to be what it is, huh?
All right. So then you're supposed to stir it and I'm going to stir away from the mic for 60 seconds. That's about 60 stirs. If you have one of these twirly stirs, it makes the stirring look really nice and fancy and whatnot. And then you're going to strain in a glass. And I got these coupe glasses because from all the pictures I've seen of the Hanky Panky, it's always in a coupe glass. Coupe glasses are really popular these days. I don't like drinking out of coupe glasses, to be quite honest with you. But I always feel like they're very spilly.
Make sure you get the 60, Marco. God forbid we're in the 50s.
All right, no, I got 60.
You got 60.
All right,
okay.
So then I'm going to just split this one between 2 of us, all right? Because
it's a strong drink and we're both hungover.
And we're going to be drinking some more later on. So I just figured, wait.
Oh, there's more. There's more.
Orange peel.
Okay. Oh. And what you're doing right now is you take off a little peel and then you squeeze it to create the tiny bit of, tiny droplets. Right? You want those little drops there?
Yeah, it's like the alcohol from the citrus. When you squeeze it, will actually hit the glass and give it a little bit of flavor. So there you go. Okay. My friend, this is to Coley in her memory, and this the Hanky Panky which she created. I always let Ali drink sip first to see if he likes it.
By Jove, this is the real Hanky Panky.
What do you think?
That is a good sipping. Man, I got a buzz again. This reignited last night's alcohol.
Listen, don't feel you have to drink the entire amount.
I'll be drinking the entire amount. We got some time.
Well, you know what? Can you just take a picture of me pouring this in so that we have it? I don't have my phone with me, so we have. This is the Hanky Panky. You can see that online. That's the Hanky Panky, my friend. It's a classic cocktail from the 1920s, I think 1925 exactly, created by a female bartender. There wasn't very many working in that capacity at the time. There was a lot of barmaids, but she was the head bartender at the American bar in the Savoy Hotel. So cheers to her. So there you go. That's the Hanky Panky, something different. Once again, it's nice to try these classic cocktails from the 1920s, from the 1910s that you don't see as prevalent as what we're seeing today. A lot of cocktails that involve juices or like funky things and smoke. This is just how it was.
Smoke.
Yeah, have you ever had a cocktail that has like smoke
I've seen that.
and liquid smoke? I hate liquid smoke. So for me, they're like the worst cocktails ever. But yeah, and you know what? I'm feeling better now that I've had it. My hangover seems to feel like...
You do seem straightened out.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting worse. All right, I'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's time to... let's eat something. What do you think of that?
Let's do it. Oh, it looks beautiful. So what I'm seeing here is a tortilla shell with some meat. I want to say chicken.
Tortilla shell, he says. Who raised you, first of all? Tortilla shell. It's a tostada, my friend. It's a tostada.
Okay. I'll stop talking now.
I'm joking. I'll tell you a little bit about this.
Yes.
So as I was saying, I went to this Latin food court, basically. Latin food-inspired food court in Chicago. And it was just... As I said, arepas here, tortas here, tortillas here, and sopas and ensaladas and all kinds of every different place served something else, had different specialties. And some of it was really terrific. And it wasn't all you can eat, so you kind of small sizes.
Sure.
Right? They just give you a small size so you don't have to fill up too much. My kids, obviously, lunatics, they go for the stir fry. You're in a Mexican food. They both want a chicken stir fry. So anyway, this is why you don't travel with kids.
Okay.
But it did inspire me, and this is called a chicken tinga tostada.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm a big fan. Yeah, you take a picture of that, and then I'm going to also garnish it. Okay, so
leave the garnish there for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, garnish it. I'll take a picture while you garnish it.
Take a picture here too.
No, but I wanted the garnish in.
You want the garnish on?
Yeah. No, but okay. It's fine. I should take off the sound of the actual photo taking place.
We're not so different, you and I, Marco.
No, you and I. Okay, that's great. I got some great photos there. Oh, it looks beautiful. I like the colors you used. So, how did you stumble on this food court? And when you say food court, was it like an outdoor food court, an indoor food court?
No, indoor, and also on the Magnificent Mile, so right on Michigan Ave in Chicago. Amazing. So I'm just like, tourist trap for sure. And but then we go there. There's a brunch. It's like $20 for adults, $9 for kids.
It's wonderful.
And I was like, all you can eat. $20, it's not bad.
And they're stir fry.
They're stir fry, exactly. So in the end, it wound up being a wonderful experience. And if nothing else, even if it hadn't been
Ali's putting
delicious in
cheese
the moment,
on the
some queso asadero.
Yes.
Even if it had not been wonderful in the moment, what it did do is inspire me to make my own chicken tinga. So let me tell you a little bit about chicken tinga. Why don't you have a bite? Let me take a picture of the finished product here as well. I think this is worth sharing with people right here. And on your plates, I tell you, Marco, you guys really do have plates that make you want to eat even more than you already did.
So shall I eat while you explain?
Yeah, there's going to be some crunching in the background.
Okay, I'm going to try to crunch away from the mic as much as I can. Jesus.
I would like to say crunch wherever you feel, but we also have to have some respect for the listeners. So, first of all, I just love the way this sounds. Chicken tinga tostada. I like that.
Wonderful.
You could just say chicken tacos, but here's my problem with chicken tacos. When we were in Mexico, a lovely country, lovely people, everybody we met was once. We were at this food stall. No, not a food stall. Sorry. I was at a food stall in Chicago. We were at this stall where people are selling various things, various trinkets and tchotchkes and all this kind of stuff. So I see a bracelet that I want. And the guy wanted $6 US. I go, come on, for a bracelet? He goes, it's nothing, senor. It's just for my chicken tacos, senor. $6 for my chicken tacos. And I was like, but first of all, if you're paying $6 US for chicken tacos as a Mexican, you're stupider than you look, all right? That's very, very expensive. Yeah. Those are prices from New York City. Those are not Mexico prices.
Fair.
And he was just like, he looked at me like I was a terrible person for wanting to pay less for something. And they were there for tourists to rip tourists off. So anyway, I don't like chicken tacos has that memory stuck in my head.
I see, okay.
So chicken
flashback.
Tinga,
I feel like it was a Vietnam flashback for you.
It absolutely was. So chicken tinga tostada makes me feel better. Also, I just love the word tinga.
Well, I have to say this. I have to side with you here because this can't be a taco in my opinion because it's tostada because the shell itself is toasted. So it has that crunch and you can't fold it like a taco, right? No. So it's a little less portable and a little bit more. The crunch adds to the overall dish because you've got this sweet flavor of the what do you call that stuff you put on the salsa?
The garnish, you could just say, but there's a couple of salsas mixed. There's a radish and cabbage slaw, and then there's a pineapple and cucumber salsa.
Everything here works, from the cheese, which was the last item, to all the items. But I'll let you explain it. But for me, I have to say yes to you in that it is not a taco, it is a tostada.
No, what I'm saying is that I could have brought in a taco, but I lean towards tostada because of these Vietnam flashbacks that I have.
Fair.
I mean, that was 2 years ago. I should really get over it. But he was such a despicable person. Anyway, not important. Chicken tinga. Tinga means quarrel. Or a scolding.
Quarrel. I think you said quarrel.
No.
Quarrel. An argument.
I don't have that word. Yeah, a quarrel. Yeah. So,
a beef, if you will.
Exactly, a beef. And you could have beef tinga or you could have chicken tinga, which is an interesting segue back into what we're talking about. I don't know how quarrel comes here, except that it's a shredded meat.
Okay.
Whether it's beef or chicken, you shred it, so maybe there's something, aggressive about that.
It's so good it makes me tinga.
Yeah.
All over.
So tinga, as you can see, can be used in many different ways. In the end, it's just become this culinary term, and it's effectively, shredded meat in a red, spicy or spicy-ish sauce. So here's how I made this thing, and I'm very... I was very proud of it, and that's why I brought up the hand blender as well.
Okay.
Because what you do is you make a sauce first. First thing you do is you actually boil a chicken.
Oh.
Which I don't usually do, but you boil the chicken, and a lot of people say just boil it in water. But I feel like that's an opportunity for flavor.
Yes.
And it's a missed opportunity if you don't have. So in the water, I put a bunch of cumin seeds, half a cinnamon stick. I smashed a garlic clove and put it in there, and I put some cloves. And so now, after you're done boiling the chicken, you have a broth. You can make
wonderful.
Rice or whatever you want with that broth. So I would not just boil it with water, even though some recipes
salt in there.
I salted it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I salted it as well. So you actually had a pretty flavorful chicken when it was all done, and that flavorful chicken was going to go into this sauce. So the sauce is onions, garlic, Mexican oregano. Cumin, chipotle, chilies in adobo sauce. I don't know if you've ever seen. You can buy that canned.
100%. What am I? Do you think I grew up in a cave? Come on.
I don't know. I worry for you sometimes. No, I never worry for you. You eat well. You live well. So you can add a bit of that. Now that is smoky and it's spicy, but then you're also going to add tomatoes. You can add fresh tomatoes, diced. You can add crushed tomatoes from a can. You can add fire roasted tomatoes.
What about a bit of tomato paste? Could you add a bit of paste?
I didn't, but you absolutely could.
Have you seen the tomato paste that comes in a tube?
I have.
Love that. Anyways.
Yeah. In the Middle East, they'll use that a lot. You have tomato paste in a tube and harissa in a tube. Yeah. It's fantastic.
I see the Middle East, and I raise you Italians use the tube as well. Okay, so anyways.
So, I see you, Middle East. Is funny. I'm watching you.
No, I meant I see your
I see when I raise you in the card way, of course.
But I see you, too. I'm doing the eye, pointing at my eyes and pointing at your eye.
I know. That's why it felt like I'm watching you guys. We started that. So this is the tinga. So that sauce that you make is very chunky, obviously, onions and if it's a canned whole tomatoes and all that. So you can either do the thing where you empty it out into your blender.
Yes.
Blend it, put it back. Or if you can. Now, I couldn't do the immersion blender. Why? Because I made this in a Le Creuset enamel pot. My last year's Christmas gift. I don't want to mess up the bottom of that pot. That pot is very expensive and very dear to me. So I actually did put it in a blender and I blended it.
How important is the color of your Le Creuset items?
I mean, it can be a centerpiece, Sure. So we got this beautiful blue that is exactly like this. What would you call this color in front of us right now?
Sexy eye blue.
Sexy eye blue. So we have some.
I don't know. I call it.
Periwinkle? I don't know.
No, I don't know. A nice blue, a baby blue. No, it's not even a baby blue. It's I don't know.
Anyway,
blue.
when you see the pictures, you'll see why we're deliberating over this color. This is the base on the table that we used. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because the ones that go on sale are sometimes these like gray or like off-white, and you're like, I don't know if that works with my kitchen. You know, the bold in colors are always the ones that are like $500 for the pot.
You can even get those colors that are like what's it called when they're gradient in color.
Yeah. They have a fade.
Yeah, it's called something. Women's hair. You can get it. I can't remember. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about. But anyway, so this is a sauce. So I made a lot of sauce. I've now frozen some and put some aside for the future. And then I shredded the chicken, and I added it back into that sauce once it had blended.
Sure.
And you cook it again for 7-8 minutes, and you have chicken tinga, and you can just have that with rice. You can have that just as a dish with some potatoes or corn on the side, and you can always put tinga in a taco or on a tostada.
And it's wonderful. I have to say, wonderful. I ate half of it because I didn't want to crunch my way through this whole episode.
Listen, I think you did the right thing because I was also watching what was happening, and it was like an explosion in the plate was happening, and you're like, It
was far from pleasant. Okay, speaking of what was going on, flashbacks. All right, so that's the chicken tinga. Easy to make.
Yes.
Well, I like the thing I like most of what you're saying, Ali, is that you can freeze it. You can freeze the sauce or the base, and then bring it out anytime. Your kids want something.
Yeah, it's spicy. You should know that it's meant to be spicy.
Sure.
It has those chipotle peppers in it, but I don't shy away from that with my kids. It's almost like if you enjoy it, amazing. If you don't, also amazing because I'm punishing you for something shitty you did in the past.
Fair enough. I also subscribe to this. Spice keeps germs and colds away. Now, it might be the old wives' tale center core that I have inside me, but when I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, I go for spice. And I think one of the big issues we have in North America is that we shy away from introducing things that have spice, that have a bitterness to it, to kids. And so they grow up with a very
bland palate.
And then when you're introduced to something like an amato, it's like, oh, this is far too bitter. I can't. What do you mean digestive? Bitter things help you digest. Spicy things help you wake up senses in you, get the blood flowing and whatnot, right? I personally think, and you take it for what it's worth, avoiding flavors like that, both as kids, young adults, or as adults, is wrong.
Yeah, it's to your own detriment. When I'm really feeling low, if I'm sick and don't have the energy to make myself something, it's straight to a Korean restaurant.
Yes.
For a very spicy, like kimchi, pork bone broth soup.
Yeah, I do a soon tofu.
Oh, you do the tofu.
I said the soon tofu. It's a tofu soup, and I make sure it has plenty of kimchi, and they bring you those. What do you call them? Appetizers? Condiments. And I always ask for more kimchi.
Yes.
And then I always ask them to make it spicy, and I crack the egg in it, and life is beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, man, I might go. I feel great. I might get that anyway. I wonder if also great for a hangover.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Look at us, huh?
That's great, man.
Okay.
I'm feeling better.
Excuses to eat. Yeah.
People listening are like, oh, my God, I got to listen to these guys drag through their hangover. But thank you for listening. Make sure you give us a 5-star review, rate and review us. We'd love to see that. And I only say that because I don't know if I'll be able to say it after the next segment.
It's my favorite segment, and it should be yours, too. If it isn't already, it will be soon. Let's start this up.
What's in Marco's mouth? That's right. What's in Marco's mouth? It's nothing dirty. Will he guess it? Will he mess it? Let's find out. What's in Marco's mouth?
Who's ready for something in their mouth?
Okay, I guess I am.
Put it in your mouth.
Okay. Is it going in my hand like communion, or is it going right into my mouth?
I have to feed you this time, but you have to do it the way I love to do it. Smell it.
It has what is aromatic. Yes, I feel spice. I want to say pepper. I can smell some sort of pepper. Okay.
That's quite enough. That's quite enough for you, all right?
Okay.
Open up. It's in your mouth. Here you are. What do you got?
Okay. It's acidic, so it has almost like vinegar in it, I want to say, and it's kind of like it's got a bit of mush factor to it. It's cabbagey, but it's very fine. It's very fine cabbagey. almost kimchi-ish. It's almost got a kimchi quality to it, but I don't think it would be kimchi because I feel like we did kimchi before.
We did do kimchi before, and I think you think it has a kimchi quality because we were just talking about kimchi.
Okay.
You have a one-track kimchi mind now.
No, but it has that. So I'm going to say it has a Asian flavor to it. If I'm thinking kimchi, I'm going to say Asian.
So basically, you were just being racist by saying this is got a kimchi flavor.
No, I was directing me to the part of the world where I think this dish is from to help me navigate the flavors.
As I blindfold you and challenge you, I'm like also adding racism.
Oh,
into the
man.
mix. I'm a monster. I'm sorry.
You are a monster.
Do you want another bite?
As a person of color, it's easy for you to point the finger and call me a racist on this podcast.
How do you know that I'm a person of color? You're blindfolded, you racist bastard. Here, can you have another bite?
Okay. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't love this.
Okay. Oh, that's very sad. I'm very sad to hear that. It's like, I just gave you double the amount in the spoon the second time, assuming you were loving it. Okay. Well, what are you going to do?
Okay. This is a vegetable that has a sauce. It's not kimchi because it's got more sweetness to it. It is a mushy green, though. It's like a green. Oh, man, I can't quite place it because it's finely chopped. Is it parsley? No, it's not parsley. Is it?
I need a final answer from you.
It's sweat. Do I not get one last one, or is that it?
Oh, yeah, you can get more. There's more. There's more.
One more.
You said you didn't enjoy it. So
I didn't enjoy it, but it doesn't matter. I must plow on.
Oh, look at you. Committed to his art. Here you go. Here you go.
No, you put so much in my mouth.
That was less. It was less than the second time.
I'm going to be so wrong on this.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm off base, aren't I?
You're barking up the wrong
Okay.
tree right now. You were right on mush. It's mushy.
It's mushy. It's a vegetable of some sort, and I want to say it's a green vegetable, but it's got some ribs to it. So I'm going to just say it is. It's not parsley because parsley. It's not. It's a bit blander than parsley. I'm going to say finely chopped cabbage in a sweet pepper paprika sauce. I'm going to take my blindfold off. Okay, let's see. What is it? How often?
How about you go to a Japanese restaurant?
Okay.
Often people order this as an initial appetizer. This green, it's like the French fry replacement. Above us right now, I can hear your wife doing somersaults.
I don't know what she's doing up there.
Japanese restaurant,
Okay.
You order this. Instead of French fries, you get this. You get them steamed. You get them... You ever have this? It's edamame, buddy. It's edamame. It's a mushy...
Okay.
So it's a puree of edamame.
Well, I mean, I don't get it as a puree.
I know, but it's an edamame dip, okay? And it's got jalapeno in it.
Okay.
And kale.
Okay.
And
Kale.
garlic
It's a
and
kale.
some lemon juice.
I was tasting the ribs of the kale.
Yeah. Well, the ribs. I mean, that's pretty finely diced stuff. That's why.
I could still taste it. Oh man, why? If it
It's an
wasn't,
edamame
I
dip
mean,
in
come
this.
on. This is a hard one. Like,
It's
what are you
very
trying
difficult.
to?
It's
Like,
very
like,
difficult.
I've never seen this in a Japanese restaurant. They give me edamames as they are.
I thought you'd recognize the flavor. Look, you've had chickpeas,
Wait,
but
so-
then you can recognize hummus, can't you?
Did you just invent this? That's
no,
my
it's
question.
not invented. This
It's
is
an
a
actual
dip.
thing.
This is a dip available.
Okay,
as
so
a
how
product.
would? I don't like it, so I don't recommend this dip. For those who want it,
Yes.
how would you make this dip?
Oh man, you
I'm
this
also
with
angry
the-
because
I know,
of it.
You're
Okay.
so angry.
Okay.
I can see that. This is any place you would use hummus. You would use an edamame puree. This is like
So you take the beans, the
soybeans, right? The edamame beans. Yeah.
Don't use the shell. Don't use the
Don't
casing.
use the shell.
Okay.
No, you mush it and. Into it, I would say lemon juice is critical. Garlic is very valuable, and then some spice is great. So it's got pureed jalapeno in it, and then you could mince up parsley or cilantro.
I'm going to call bullshit on the jalapeno because that should not go in a Japanese dish if that's a Japanese dish you're giving me.
All right. You know
Maybe
what?
some miso you could have put in there.
Your anger is coming out right now.
I know.
It's
I'm sorry. I
not becoming.
apologize.
It's not becoming of you. I'll tell you that much. I'm going to call bullshit on the Japanese.
No, not on the Japanese.
I
On
know.
the
I'm just saying
jalapeno.
it could come to that if I let this anger spiral out of control.
You put me in a corner where it sounds like I'm saying horrible things about the Japanese, and I'm not. I'm actually saying it about the Mexicans who make
I like
jalapenos.
seeing you on the defensive. Is that weird that I like that? I don't know why I like that.
Okay, you
This
got
is a
me.
great
You
tip.
got
So
me.
anywhere, look. chickpeas. People know chickpeas. They
Sure.
also know hummus. So
Okay.
I'm trying to introduce you to something. You know edamame? It's an edamame dip. Can be used anywhere you use hummus. Can be used in a sandwich as an extra layer of like sort of a cohesive layer. It can be for flavor with nachos, with just chips, anything, you know.
Oh, I like that. Could you do this? Take a Montreal-style bagel, slather some of that on it.
Yes.
Some finely cut lox or smoked salmon.
Sure, man.
Capers and dill and go to town.
There's the Marco I know and love.
He's
That's
back.
so difficult.
He's back.
I actually thought you were going to say, could you do this? Could you shut your fucking mouth about this stupid deal? I thought you were still angry, but now look at that. That's a great idea. This would go so well with salmon. Oh my God.
There you go.
Smoked salmon.
Okay, so
Amazing.
together we've come back to the place.
Basically, what you just experienced as a listener was watching us go to our deepest depths and then come back and we're on the top of the mountain again.
Amazing. Back to
Okay.
the mountain. Any resolutions that I should know about?
We are doing one thing. This is very doable, but also, you know how these resolutions are. You could just stop thinking about it.
Yep.
We are watching one documentary a week as a family.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Every Sunday. Last year, I made a commitment. I'm not working Sundays anymore.
Good
I want
for
a
you.
day where at least now. Sometimes I'm on the road. There's just no way. But I'm not
What a
going out
good
for
Catholic
open
you
mics.
are.
Exactly. Lord's Day, Family Day. So what we said to the kids is like, get your homework done before Sunday. Sunday, let's have it as a day for us to enjoy each other's company. One day, it's not much to ask of any of us. So on that day, we have added documentaries. We just found that it's just so easy to waste time. Of
course.
In front of a television, on your laptop, on your phone. So at least you're still doing that sort of viewing, but it's not brainless for at least somewhere between
great.
60 and 90 minutes. Whether it's the nature of things, our old pal David Suzuki
yes.
has a great everything. And my son, the 7-year-old, would watch SpongeBob, and then he could also watch something on ants for 60 minutes.
Who couldn't?
The ant world, the spiders. Like,
Sure.
It's just fast. So why give him the stuff that's not going to really help with interest and curiosity and development? And I think we can all learn something.
Yeah, don't just give him the visual sugar. Give him the visual spice.
I like it.
There you
okay,
go.
bring
All
it
right.
back to eat and drink.
Good
for you.
every
Good for
once in
you.
a while.
So yeah, documentaries. We're going to try to do that. If any of them are food related, obviously, I'll bring that content here every
Amazing.
week as well.
Amazing. That's great.
What about you? What are you doing?
I'm going to try to brush my teeth every day for a whole year. Brush and floss my teeth. I should say floss. Actually, it's flossing is what I'm going to try to
As
do.
a man who sits 2 feet away from you in a booth
Yeah.
regularly, I'm going to say thank you for that one.
Because I brush every day, but I don't always floss.
Okay.
And flossing's important.
Okay, yeah. And you want to get those terms correct, because you said, the first thing you said, I'm going to try
Brush
to
my
brush
teeth. No,
every
no,
day.
I meant
You
floss.
meant floss,
I
yeah.
meant floss, yeah.
Yeah, well, once you get the terms right, that's pretty much 90% of it,
I
right?
sound like such a douchebag in this episode from top to bottom.
No,
I sound
no,
like
no,
an
not at all.
idiot.
Not
Okay,
at all.
fair enough.
You sound exactly the way you do every single episode.
Terrible. Okay, well, listen, thank you for listening.
2019, what a year already.
Thank you for listening.
Until we eat again.
We hope you got your fill of Eat and Drink with Ali Hassan and Marco Timpano. Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Podcast Eat Drink. Email them your cocktail and food suggestions to podcasteatdrink@gmail.com. Until the next episode, bottoms up.